perusal of the topic of Minhag Avoseihem, we are going to look at the Gemara in Eruvin, which was discussed in the comments to the tshuva of the sage of Cairo, sage of the Cairo Geniza. And this Gemara in Eruvin is in Daf Chav Vav Amud Aleph. Okay, so I think it's going to be like a 2-week Gemara, another 2-week perusal of the issue. Let's start from the Mishnah. Halacha tes. Perek Gimel of Eruvin Halacha tes. Vona Mar Bihuda. Masnei Adam HaKal Kol B'Yom Tov HaRishon. A person makes a condition on a container. Sorry. Basket full of tevel, and Yontif Rishon, v'ochel b'sheni. In other words, he says, if today is Yontif, so I'm not doing anything. And then the next day says, and then tomorrow it should be chol. It should be meiser. And if tomorrow is Yontif, then today it should be meiser. Okay, so he's making it tonight. I don't know which of the 2 days is chol, but whichever 2 days is chol, I should be meiser on that day. Okay, and so to an egg which was laid on Yontif Rishon can be eaten on the second day without a tanai, of course, because we're assuming that if the first day is chol, so then that's fine. The second day is Kodesh, he eats it on the second day. If the first day is Kodesh, he can't eat it today, so he eats it on the next day, and that's also fine. The Chacham did not concede the point on him because we're talking about Rosh Hashanah, not about a regular Yom Tov Sheni. And Rosh Hashanah, we say the 2 days are Yom HaRichta, so one long day according to Chacham, not 2 separate days, and therefore you can't make a condition for 1 day on the next day. Okay? Omer, and the Gemara tells us this expands on this. V'omer im yontav hayom yavatlan v'aray. If today is yontav, the first day, my words are negated. V'yikra shein l'mas roisav. Then he says if it's not yontav, my ma'aser should take effect. V'ein ochlan, he doesn't eat them. V'sheni koyer shein l'mas roisav, and he does it again on the second day for ochlan, right? Then he eats it again. Then he eats it. Mechalfa she say it should be the Rabbi Yehuda. Seems Rabbi Yehuda changes his opinion because Kamini Avli Kedusha Achas. Elsewhere he says they're Kedusha Achas. Now this is by, if you look at Bnei Moshe, Chav say the Rabbi Yehuda. Kain Sarich Loar. Do you see that in the Bnei Moshe?
No, I gotta find it.
It's about 25 lines to the bottom of the Bnei Moshe. Yeah. Kain Tzurich Lomar. That's what we'll say, Rabbi Yehuda. The Tamani Yavelik Lusha Achatz Gabi Yontav Shabbos Asmuchim, right? They are Yontav Shabbos together, one next to each other. The Losi Rabbi Yehuda Karbas Kainim, Rabbi Eliezer Kramim Malocha De'el. He doesn't know that they're 2 separate kedushos. He holds the 1 separate kedushos. Kedusha Bachi Avelish Te kedushos. And here he says that it's 2 kedushos. So the 2 days Rosh Hashanah. How do we reconcile the 2? So going back to the Gemara, Tam and Yontav Eitzel Shabbos Kechol Eitzel Shabbos, right? So he says here over there, back to the Pnei Moshe, the Mushani Tam Kosava Shabbos Yontav Kedusha Achas Arukahi. He says that there it's 1 long kedusha, right? Did I skip? I'm sorry. Yeah, I did. I skipped. I'm sorry. Back to the Gemara. Tam Yavelik Kedusha Achas V'Kaveh Le'Shtei Kedushos. Tam Kedusha Achas Aruchahi B'Ramhacha Achas Kodesh V'Achas Chol. So he says that Yontav and Shabbos are considered to be 1 long kedusha, right? Because they're both really kodesh, both midoraisa. But here, one of the Yom Tov Rosh Hashanah is definitely a weekday, right? Midoraisa. So therefore, it's not kedusha achas; it's shtei kedushos. Is that okay? Maria Pnei Moshe, because Hachi Avalei Teshanu Tamaka so b'Shabbos Yom Tov Kedusha Achas Arukahik. Avalacha Echad Kodesh V'Echad Misafiku Shema Ibril Elul. It's a question whether Ma'aber Elul, but really there's only one day is actually Rosh Hashanah, right? So now Rabbana. What about Rabbana? L'chavish does Rabbana. Tam Navi Shtei Kedushos. Right? They say by Yom Tov and Shabbos they say it's 2 Kedushos. And here V'kol Inun Avdin Le Kedusha Achas. So they make it like 1 Kedusha. Tam and Yom Tov Eitzel Shabbos Kechol Eitzel Shabbos. They're Yom Tov V'Zvi Shabbos like Chol Eitzel Shabbos. So they're like 2 separate Kedushos. But here the 2 days of Rosh Hashanah are equivalent to each other, and therefore it's Kedusha Achas. Let's see Pnei Moshe. Umishani Tam and Yom Tov Eitzel Shabbos. Kechol Eitzel Shabbos. Kamar Lo Shayach Lomar Kedusha Richto. Right? You can't say it's one Kedusha because it's 2 separate Kedushos. But Ramhacha Rosh Hashanah Shnei Yamim Shavim Meim Kedusha Achas. Here in Rosh Hashanah the 2 days are equivalent, and therefore it's 1 Kedusha. Okay? Now, getting back to the Gemara. So the Gemara says, wait a minute, you should know that in fact, by the 2 days of Rosh Hashanah, they are 2 days of Yom Tif, which are not because of Takonas Chachamim, and they are because of Takonas Nevi'im Rishonim. And that's why they're one long Kedusha. Okay? Let's see the Pnei Moshe. Molech HaCholim Rabbi Klomar. Af agav the Kosavri Beis Yom Shoshana Kedusha Achasi. Even though they hold that the 2 days of Rosh Hashanah are one long Kedusha, Mias B'zem Modim. In this they can see She'ein Ze'elam Mitakonas Tevim Rishonim V'lo Yunagim came Mikodem. This is only from the time of the Tevim Rishonim, not prior to that. Now, this is again seems to be totally against the Bavli. Because in the Bavli, it's the Akon of Rabbi Yochanan and Zakkai, the 2 days Rosh Hashanah. Shem Yiskalku Levim Bashir. Because maybe Levim are going to get messed up in the Beis HaMikdash. Here we have a fascinating thing, that according to the Yerushalmi, it's the Takonas Levim. 2 days Rosh Hashanah. Not 2 days Yom Tov Yom Tovim, but 2 days Rosh Hashanah. Okay, we have. I'm just going over Gemara superficially now. I'm not going into detail, obviously.
Now, what are they modu? I mean, if they're modu that it was a Takanas Nevi'im, but they're still disagreeing in terms of the Kedusha.
It's not the Raisa, even though it's supposed to be not the Raisa. It's still 1 Kedusha. In other words, they made it to Rabbi Yehuda that it wasn't in the Torah. There aren't 2 days Rosh Hashanah, right?
Okay.
Now that you'll say that's weird, right? Because what's the happening if you 2 days Rosh Hashanah, right? But if you go like Reb Sadia Gaon, then there are 2 days Rosh Hashanah and Chutz La'aretz, in fact. Midaraisa. Yes. So
we're talking about Eretz Yisrael now.
Yeah, we're here talking Eretz Yisrael. Yes. Okay, so this Gemara is very interesting, but very difficult. We really have to understand in greater depth. What does that mean that it's when the Minhag Avoseihem? It sounds much more like the tshuva from the Cairo Geniza than it does like the Bavli, right? Which says the days of Rabbi Yochanan and Zakkai, they made 2 days because of Niskalku Levim Bashir. Okay, that's question number 1 we have to deal with. Okay, let's go on. Rabbi Chia b'Shem Yochanan B'nei Imi Nachru Bi. This is a blessing from Shir. Obviously, the children of my mother, they rebuked me. And it says, Samani Nateros Akramim, they made me watch the vineyards. Mi Goram Lios Nateros Akramim, who caused me to watch the vineyards? Al Shem Karmi Sheli Lo Nartarti, because I didn't watch my own vineyard. Mi Goram Lios Mishamer Shnei Yomim B'Surya. Why do I have to keep 2 days Chutz Yom Tov in Surya? Al Shelo Shamarti Yom Echad Ba'aretz. Because I didn't keep 1 day Yom Tov in Eretz Yisrael properly. Since I didn't keep 1 day Eretz Yisrael properly, now that I'm in Syria, right? I have to keep 2 days. Now, the Or Sameach at the end of Hilchos Kiddush HaKodesh wants to say about this Yerushalmi, and I'm not based on what we saw in the tshuva from the Geniza. I'm not sure I agree that from this indicates that the shluchim did not reach Syria. That's not at all clear to me, because based on the assumption that it's not because of shluchim, but it's because of some other more spiritual reason, which is what the Yerushalmi seems to be saying here. So it's not relevant whether shluchim reach there or not, right?
Right. If it's takanas neviim, there will be takanas neviim everywhere.
Right. Okay. So there's another thing we have to clarify. So now, svura, you see, shani mekabel schar al shnayim. I thought, okay, fine, I have to keep 2 days, but at least I get schar for 2 days, right? So no, any mekabel schar el achas. I only get reward for the 2 days I keep, as which is tantamount to the 1 day in Eretz Yisrael. Okay, so I don't get any revach in reward by keeping 2 days. Okay.
Is that argument that it's one kedusha?
What?
Is that also an argument?
It could be an argument that Shnei talking about one kedusha. Yes, it would make sense. Although we don't pass in that way, but it would be an argument for saying so. Yes. Okay. Similarly, Migo Ramli is kind of out of left field, but Migo Ramli. I have to take 2 chalas. In Surya, I have to take 2 chalas of. One gets burnt and one goes to a Kohen. Nowadays, we don't have the money to give to the Kohen anymore. And it's possible there was never in remote areas from Eretz Yisrael to give anything to a Kohen. But in the Surya and Bavel areas close to Eretz Yisrael, there was the minhag was to take 2 chalas, one of which was burnt, the one which had actual kedusha, and one of which was symbolic, which was given to the Kohen. Okay, so they had to take 2 chalas of every dough. Who caused me to have to do this? Since I didn't take of challah properly in Eretz Yisrael, I have to take out now 2 chalas in Chutz La'aretz. Okay. I thought, again, I'm going to get double the schar. I only get rewarded once. Okay. Rabbi Yochanan Kari Aleon. Rabbi Yochanan said concerning these people in Chutz La'aretz, okay, who have to do everything twice. V'gam ani nasati lohem chukim lo tovim. I gave them bad laws. So what does that mean? So the Pnei Moshe, okay, they have 2 different pshatim. Let's see the Pnei Moshe first. Chukim lo tovim, chukim shosif aleim lo tovim im lekabel sachar al zeh. I would read it like a question, The Gamanina Safem Chukim Lo Tovim. Is it me that gave them the bad laws? They took upon themselves the bad laws. In other words, what's bad about the laws? That normally for the Rabbanon you get schar for keeping the Rabbanon, but in this Rabbanon you get no schar. So it's a chok lo tov, right? It's a chok, but you don't get any good for it, right? The Pnei Moshe said, "Chokim bansham shelo hayu tovim, v'lo shu mitzvos Hashem. V'ches lo mar shchuki Hashem b'atzmam lo tovim, v'lo derachei darchei noam, ela kid pirashnu." So he says, "Chokim lo tovim" is not going on the laws, but it's going on the activities of the Jewish people because they were not good. That's why they got additional chokim. Okay, but the laws of HaKadosh Baruch Hu are chas v'sholom, not bad laws. Okay, the truth, it's not such a taina because these are the Rabbanans, but whatever the case may be, we wouldn't say even about the Rabbanan, it says the chok lo tov, right? So therefore, lo tov is going on the people. Ravo also Alexandria. Ravo went to Alexandria, vat inu lulavin b'shubsa, and they took lulav on Shabbos, right? So it says, he told them that the Yont of Rishon or Chag was on Shabbos. And for sure, became the Raisa. Since it's the Raisa, we don't actually take into account the Gzeira that you might take it for Amos B'Shus Rabim. Now, this is a very important point to make here, which is made by somebody. I don't remember who. That we never see in the Yerushalmi the Takana de Rabbah, the Gzeir of Rabbah. Rabbah says by Shofar, by Lula, by Megillah. The reason why we don't do it on Shabbos is because Shema Yavrenu Arba'am Rishus Rabim. because he might come to take it for Amshus Rabbi. The Yerushalmi never brings that svara down. The Korban is bringing down the Bavli svara of Shema Evrenu Arba Amos and applying it to the Yerushalmi. But it's never explicit in the Yerushalmi, such a svara. Okay? So, let's see. Let's carry that on. So,
so he knows that they're doing it.
He told him to do it. At Inun Lulav in Shabbos. He told him take the Lulav in Shabbos. It's like, okay, he told him do it. Shama, now here the Gersos get very, very murky. Okay, so according to Lieberman, it's Shama Rabbi Ami. Not Shama Rabbi Meimar. There was no Rabbi Meimar. He says Shama Rabbi Ami and Amar Lahon, and he said to them, Rabbi Avo b'chol shata, which is very strange, right? So he said, I'm sorry, no, Shama, I did that wrong. Shama Rabbi Ami, Amar, he said to them, Min man, on the bottom says, instead of man yochelen, min mayav miyavlun. See that? You see that in the Shulchan? Min miyavlun lohen lahon. Back to Rabbi Avo kol shata. Is Rabbi Avo going to tell them what to do every year? So here's the. In other words, according we can't be makel to him, or to take the lulav on Shabbos when it's the first day, because not every year can we know that Tes Vav Tishrei is on Shabbos, or rather that Shabbos is Tes Vav Tishrei, because like the Orsa Maser Ramav, the shluchim don't necessarily get over there to Alexandria every year. So just the fact that year Rabbi Avo happened to come there and know that since he was coming to Eretz Yisrael, that was the first day Yom coincided with Shabbos. That's fine for that year, but we cannot guarantee it's going to be like that every year. So therefore, we cannot actually let them take lulav on Shabbos, because only the first day is Deicha Shabbos, and they might end up taking a day which is not. It's not Deicha Shabbos. Okay, so from here, so it says, again, this sounds like the Yerushalmi does not hold the Gzeir of the Rabbah, which we're going to have to speak about in greater detail, and he brings.
If it doesn't hold by the Gezerah, then why is it all upset that they took it on Shabbos?
Because we're going to have to see it. So Lieberman brings down two possibilities. One is that it wasn't Rabbah, it was Anshe Knesset Sagdoila, which would be okay because Rabbah is after the Yerushalmi. But Anshe Knesset Sagdoila were before the Yerushalmi, right? Then but he says it's only a very obscure medrash which says that, and he wants to say that it's a deraisa that lulav is only doicha Shabbos on the first day, because the mitzvah in outside of Eretz Yisrael, outside Yerushalayim, is only to take lulav on the first day, not the rest of it. So therefore, Rabbanan would not be masakein to take a lulav on Shabbos. Again, only the first day is the deraisa, is the mitzvah outside Yerushalayim. So in the first day, with the other days on the Rabbanan, Rabbanan would not say to take it on Shabbos, not necessarily because of Chilul Shabbos, but because it may be covered Shabbos, whatever it might be. But they wouldn't say take it on Shabbos on any other day other than the first day. Okay? So again, that's assuming that Yerushalmi does not hold the Gzeir of Rabbah. Okay? Rabbi Yossi Mishlak Ksiv Lahon. Rabbi Yossi sent to them the following message. He said, even though now you have calendars, right? Evidently, this was after the generation of Rabbi Avo. Rabbi Yossi said later on, okay, that was the generation of Rabbi Avo and Rabbi Ami. Now what? Right? So now that you have calendars, Al Teshanu Min Minhag Avoseihem Nochei Nofesh. We should not change from the way your forefathers did it. So there is a strange Pnei Moshe here. See Pnei Moshe? I'm sorry, Korbaneda. Sorry, change Korbaneda. Al Teshanu Min Minhag Avoseihem la'asot shnei yom mitoim b'chol pam ki yesh l'chus Shem yachzir davar l'kilkula. So first of all, that's difficult with Rabbi Yochanan Ramadal, because Rabbi Yochanan sounds like it's something which is maybe even from Minhag Nevi'im. He didn't specify. We know Rosh Hashanah was Minhag Nevi'im, maybe not Yom Tov Sheni, but it sounds like it's something which was independent of the calendar, right? Because of the special thing, you need 2 Yom Tov in Chutz La'aretz because you didn't keep 1 Yom Tov in Eretz Yisrael, right? But here the Korbaneda says something even more strange in the next shot, right? Even though they wrote for you how to daven on Yom Tov, Teshanu Min Minhag Avoseihem. You have your own siddur. Even though we wrote a new siddur in Eretz Yisrael. It's like saying, you have Minhag Alexandria. It's true, we wrote a new siddur in Eretz Yisrael. But you keep the minhag you had in Alexandria. Now, that's totally out of left field, this Korbaneda, right? Because there's nothing to do with Yom Tov Sheni altogether. And it's like a strange, out of nowhere thing. Okay, so this is the Gemara. And I think we'll stop here for this week, and we'll try and analyze it in greater detail next week.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, it's good Gemara.